Hi everyone, I'm Jackie Keneally, and this is Yoga Literacy with the St. Louis Public Library. Each week I bring you a 30-minute yoga practice that's good for beginners, complete beginners on up, and I also recommend a book or an audiobook or an audio program or some resource that's available to you for free through the St. Louis Library. This week our theme for practice is just taking care of yourself. Whether your yoga practice can be a full 30 minutes or even an hour in the morning, or just like 5 minutes every morning to take some time to yourself, a little bit of quiet space to breathe deeply, to move a little bit, and to get your mind right for the day, to root your day in an act of just foundational, simple self-care, so that for the rest of the day you can show up with a little bit more kindness or patience or generosity for other people, and so that you can be more awake, like eyes open, head lifted to the gifts that life is bringing you. And just a little bit of self-care in the morning, a little bit of movement, a little bit of breathing can really go a long way to opening up those doors, as you probably know from experience in your life. The book that I'm recommending is a book called Radical Self-Acceptance by Tara Bracht. So it's a great book to kind of heal your relationship with yourself, especially if you tend to be really harsh and critical with yourself. And as a kind of natural outgrowth of that, you'll find yourself being more accepting and compassionate and loving towards other people. All right, that said, let's get started with our morning practice. This is just a nice daily morning practice that you can do. If you only have 15 minutes, just do the first 15 minutes of it. But if you have a whole half hour, stick with me for that. Go ahead and make your way down onto your back as you're ready. Now let your arms stretch out wide. Let's start here with the palms facing up, your shoulder blades gathering, snuggling towards each other on your back. And heel toe your feet a little wider than your hips, so maybe they're as wide as your mat right now. And take your knees over to the right, into the center, and to the left. So just real easy swish windshield wiper movements. Let's go one more time to each side. Feel your feet kind of massaging against the ground and your hips too. And come to the center and bring your right knee in towards your chest. Interlace your hands and hold onto your shin. Give your knee a nice squeeze in, however much is comfortable for you here. Of course, you can move your knee around a little bit, massaging. Feel a little bit of nice compression in your hip joint. And if you're moving your leg, now bring it in so it's close into your belly. And let's take 3 deep breaths. Breathe low so you feel that your abdomen's expanding into your thigh. And 2 more deep breaths. One more deep breath. And let your leg go. Let's let your hip, the front of your hip, stretch out where you were just squeezing. Your left leg can stay bent, your right leg stretches out nice and long. Maybe even take your palm and gently rub that space in the front of your hip. Bend your right knee. Let's switch sides. Bring your left knee in. Start by hugging it in and then just some circles, or side to side, or keep it still. Up to you. Like a self-massage. You'll bring your knee in close and take 3 deep breaths. Belly expanding. towards your thigh with each breath. One more. And release your left leg. Stretch your left leg out and feel how the front of your hip, which was just closed and bent, is open now. Maybe even take your left hand and give a little massage to the front of your hip. Now stretch your right leg out to meet your left, and your arms can go overhead if that's okay with your shoulders. If not, take them out to the side. Point your toes, reach through your fingers. Oh, hard to do this without yawning. Maybe take a nice yawn or a sigh through your mouth. Roll your ankles and your wrists. Forgot what they were called. Open and close your fingers and your toes. This is a nice, good morning stretch. Okay, now bend your knees again. Start to draw your navel down towards the ground. So it's not a lot of core engagement, but it's there. As your knees come in, navel down, then knees in towards your chest and hands to your shins. Give a little squeeze in. Then take your arms out like a T. We're going into a twist here. Here is option one. Both knees go over to the right. Now, for a lot of people, the legs may not come together and it may not be that comfortable. And if that's you, come back to the center, feet wide as the mat, and then knees over to the right. And if that's still not comfortable, you can extend your left leg and just have your right knee crossing. Just here for 3 more breaths, this first little spinal twist of our practice. Wherever you are today, let that be fine. Back to the center, and let's switch sides. If you're working with an injury, if your body feels tight, if it feels a little difficult to move, just say, good job for showing up. Great job for showing up. And just keep moving, just keep trying, just keep being kind to yourself. Let's go back to the center. And notice what shifts happen, because they will. Knees into the chest and rock side to side. And coming up to sit next, coming up to sit next, you can either just roll over to one side and use your palms to press up, or you can rock up and down like so until you're seated. I'm gonna turn this way and tuck your right leg in, stretch your left leg out, and if you have a blanket or a pillow that you want to support your right knee with, that can be helpful. But we'll stretch our arms up and press into this seat like you're trying to make an imprint of your seat on the ground, and reach for your left foot. If you don't reach it, that's fine. You can hold onto your ankle, you can hold onto your shin. You can also bend your knee and reach for your foot like that. 5 deep breaths here. I'm gonna count them out for us to start. So together we'll inhale 1, 2, 3. Exhale 1, 2, 3. Inhale for your spine get longer. Exhale, let your chest go a little bit lower towards your thigh. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more deep breath. Feel the length of your spine. Let's stretch in the back of your leg and your back. And release your leg. Slowly slide up, back to your seat. Take your time. Then bring your hands out so they are outside of your hips. Stretch your left arm up and side bend over to the right. And then hand comes down and we switch. Side to side with your breath. Keep your seat rooted. And if that's a little too much for your shoulders, you're imagining that you're lifting the side of your shirt with your hand instead of bringing your hand up all the way. Here's the last time with the right arm going up and down. Then take your left leg out wider and reach for your left leg or foot with your left hand, again, just as low as you can go, and bring your right arm alongside your ear. Another option is just to keep your hand down. Just lift your hand up towards your armpit. And it's a side bend, so maybe you feel this in your right side. 3 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Then bring your arm up. Breathe in. Your hand down. Breathe out. Let's roll the shoulders lightly, slowly 3 times. And then switch the legs. Left leg in, right leg out, but remember, don't start with it really wide, just a little bit wider than your hip. Then stretch your arms, push into your seat, and reach for your foot. If it's not the foot, ankle, shin, all good. Maybe also the knee bends and your hand goes to your foot. 5 deep breaths. I'll count them out. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, deepen. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And breathe. Let it go. 1 more breath. And exhale. Let go of your foot, slowly rise up. Take your time, take your right leg out a little bit wider. Nope, I'm sorry, bring it back in. Bring your fingertips to the ground and stretch your right arm alongside your ear for a side bend. And then hand back down and left side. So maybe starting to feel a little bit more open, a little bit more spacious. Maybe it feels like your breath can be a little bit deeper and fuller and healthier. Next time your left arm comes down to the ground, keep both hands on the ground. Take your foot a little bit wider. Reach for your right toes with your right hand and bring your left arm alongside your ear. Your hand can also stay down. Either way, 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale, come up. Let your arms go down. Give your shoulders 3 nice rolls. They can be slow, they can be light. Feel your chest expand as your shoulders roll back. Okay. Now bring your legs forward. Stretch your arms forward. Pull the pit of your belly in towards your spine and come roll down slowly, 1 vertebrae at a time. Once you're down, let your arms continue to travel up alongside your ears and lengthen your whole body, point your toes, and reach through your fingers. Lower your arms down to your sides now. And we'll move into a movement called the cross crawl. Bring your right knee in towards your chest, and at the same time, left arm comes up alongside your ear like it just was. And then we lower both. Other side, left knee in, right arm up, and lower. Now sync this with your breath. Inhale as you lift, and exhale, lower. On the side of your body of the lifted arm, feel how there's this long channel from your heel to your fingertips. And maybe you can lengthen and stretch into that channel by pushing your heel just a little bit forward. This is a really nice way to balance things out physically and mentally and emotionally. And it's also good for your core. So as we're doing a couple more rounds here, think about drawing your back low ribs towards the ground. Like your belly button is a heavy washer, metal washer, sinking down towards the floor. Okay, now the next time it's your right leg and your left arm that are up, pause for a moment, exaggerate the stretch in your left side, then take your left hand to your outer right knee and twist. Knee crosses the body, and the right arm lifts so it's parallel to the mat, parallel to the short edge of your mat, out like a T with the palm facing up. Maybe you can turn your head a little bit. So this twist is a little bit deeper than the first one. Notice how your breath feels here. And then come slowly back to the center. Release your right leg. And go to the other side, left knee up, right arm up. Accentuate, exaggerate the stretch in your right side. Then right hand to the outer left leg and twist. And extend your left arm. Turn your chin a little bit over to the side. And take a few deep breaths. Feel your breath in your rib cage and your belly. Feel your lungs expanding and condensing, giving you the oxygen you need and giving your blood the oxygen it needs. And then we go back to the center. Bring both knees in towards the chest and rock up and down. Now, if this isn't comfortable for your spine, just roll to the side If you are rocking up and down, take one more rock back, stretch your legs overhead, and cross your ankles, come onto your hands and knees. Spread your palms out wide. Lift your chest and your tail. Let's go cat and cow a few rounds. If you're new to cat and cow, or even if you're not, think about drawing your shoulder blades towards each other on your back. Lift your chest, lift your tail, create like a trough in your low back. And then reverse that. Shoulder blades move away from each other. The low back lengthens, tailbone points down. And you can keep going in and out like this, flexion and extension, cat and cow. Or you can start to feel a little bit more diverse movement in your spine. Maybe hip circles, maybe head circles, maybe a little C curve where you bring one shoulder towards your hip. Whatever it is, take a couple more breaths and tuck your toes as you finish up here. Spread your palms into the ground, walk your hands about a palm's print forward, then lift your knees, ramp your hips up and back. You can keep your knees a little bit bent here as your hips hoist up and your palms press forward and down. Now pedal your knees. And turn this pedaling, this slow pedaling, one knee at a time, into walking your feet towards your hands. Take a nice fold here. Bend your knees if you need to. Bend your knees if you need to bring your chest and belly down towards your thighs. Take a sigh through your mouth to relax your jaw. And then press your hands into your shins, straighten your arms, and lift your chest. So you're halfway up, then bring your hands to your thighs, push into your thighs, and walk yourself all the way up. Standing, give 3 rolls of your shoulders. Feet just wherever they're comfortable, maybe a little bit wider than the hips. Lift up and down on your feet. Feel your ankles. Bend your knees a few times. Move your hips in a circle one way and then the other. Heel toe your feet wider, but keep your toes facing forward. Keep your feet parallel. Hands start on the hips. Bend your knee, your right knee, and shift over to the right, and then back to the center. Now as we do this, you might find, oh, I want to take my feet a little wider, or you might think, oh, I want to take my feet a little bit closer together. I'm just bending, side to side. Okay, let's add on a couple layers. As you bend, let your chest go down towards your thigh, or actually a better way to say that is your rib cage. Okay? Now as you bend to the right, let your left elbow touch your right knee and your right arm stretch back behind you. And then back to the center. Shift to the left, tap your right elbow, and center. Let's do it side to side. The arm that's not tapping extends back behind you to your fullest comfortable range. This might feel pretty challenging. Instead of stopping, can you keep moving, but you can just go back to that shift, side to side. Just don't stop moving. Let yourself be where you're at today. One more round. Maybe you come back to the tap, ribs to thigh, extending back arm. Tap, ribs to thigh, extending back arm back to the center. Palms together. Stretch your arms up and overhead. Then bring your hands to your hip bones. Lift your navel in and up towards your spine and hinge from your hips. Fold down. Bring your right hand to the ground beneath your nose and turn your chest towards the left. Your left hand can either come to your hip or it can stretch up. Breathe in here. And bring your hand to the ground, breathe out. Let's do the other side. The left hand's beneath your nose. Turn your chest. Right hand can come to the hip or it can stretch straight up. And down. Once more, each side. Rotate your torso. For this third twist of our practice, maybe your spine feels a little warmer. Now fold, let your chest go down, let your head go down, and begin to heel toe your feet towards each other. A little shuffle until you're folding with your legs close. If you've rotated on your mat, just take a quarter turn so your feet face forward again. And we'll bend our knees, sink low into the hips, walk your hands back behind you, and bring your seat to the ground. Stretch your legs in front of you. Bring your hands behind you. They can point any direction, away from you or to the sides or even towards you. Lift your chest, broad palms, and press into your palms. Point your toes, circle your ankles. Notice how you feel. Walk your hands in towards your hips. Find a nice tall seat, and you can either sit up on a blanket or pillow if you've got one nearby, or just move some real estate back. Move your glutes back so it feels like your sitting bones are connected to the ground. And then we'll just do a simple, nice stretch forward. If you have your toes, okay, great. If you don't, ankles or shins. Or again, you can bend your knees and hold onto your feet that way with your knees bent. Five breaths here. They can be still, you can be still. Or as you inhale, extend your arms, lift your chest. And exhale, bend your arms a little bit and lower. And that can be as small or as big of a movement as you'd like. Three more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Now release where you're holding. Come up slowly. If that is tricky on your back, use your hands pressing on your legs to come up. Bring the bottoms of your feet together. Heels in as close as feels comfortable and fold like that. Just for a second, just for a little breath. Release. Knees bent, feet on the ground, and roll down onto your back for our final rest and digest pose. So if your back is comfortable, okay, great. You can also lie on your belly and stack your hands, place your head on your hands. You can also extend your legs up a wall, if you have a wall nearby. Or you can sit, but we're here for just a minute. Stay longer if you have the time, but even just a minute of being still and resting and breathing can go a really long way. To let your body sink into the ground, feel gravity, feel a heaviness in a good way. Falling away of effort to hold yourself in any position. And feel your breath, natural, soft, slow. Take 3 more deep breaths here. And when you're ready to get up, slowly start to wiggle fingers and toes and stretch. And bend your knees. Roll to your side. And press your way up to a seat. Okay. Let's end our practice prepared for a good day full of kindness and generosity and open eyes to the gifts life is offering us and the gifts that life is offering to others through us. Let's close our practice. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a great day.